Hello, welcome to the Missing Link channel. I'm glad you're back. On this occasion, I'm going to talk about issues when we feel like we have given up on love. And this can happen for many reasons, but this channel is mainly focusing on people who have an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. And so I'm just going to jump into this and stay until the end because I'm going to share a great practice you can do straight away and feel more empowered to start dating again. So I would like to start with the question, are you often feel needy or often labeled needy or clingy? Because some people don't know about the attachment styles, and I want to talk about this at first. Because if you are labeled too sensitive and too much, then there's a reason for that. And basically, I always say that this is a lie, and only some people label anxious people this way. People who actually have problems with emotions themselves and accepting and respecting emotions. And they are the people who have avoidant attachment styles. So basically, people who have an anxious attachment style, it is developed in childhood. And this is about basically when we were children, our parents most likely nurtured us inconsistently, meaning when we were crying or we wanted something, once they soothed us, once they helped us, the next time they let us cry. And this is not to hurt us, it's mostly because recently, I mean, those days actually, that was a common knowledge to not to pick up a child for every cry, just let them um, be on their own and they will stop it, which is actually the reason mostly that we have this attachment style. Because when we are children, we really depend on our parents and we need their help and love and care constantly to feel all right in our body. And basically, if we don't get care and they don't nurture us, we can actually die. So we are conditioned to feel like once we get what we need and the next time we didn't, and that's how this attachment style is actually developed. And when we start dating, that's when it comes to light, because you can live your life for many years and you don't realize that there's a problem with this. But once you start a relationship, and very likely with a person who has an avoidant attachment style, and I will get into that in another video. But basically, we get in relationships with people who actually not good for us, but we are not aware of it. And I just want to basically get into this. What is this anxious attachment style? That people who have this attachment style, maybe 20% of the population, they have a similar view on life and the way they relate, and mostly it's unconscious. So once we become conscious of it, we can realize that this is something we have to deal with, because that's why our relationships are not working out most of the time. So we crave a lot of intimacy as closeness, we like reassurance, we actually need love from our partner constantly, we like the flow of love. And mostly we meet people who actually after a while they distance themselves, and that's their way to have security. They need distancing. Anxious people, anxiously attached people, they need constant love, constant reassurance, constant connection. And this is the way we are. And I'm never going to judge uh, neither attachment styles. I'm just saying which one is ours and how is it functional or how is it not dysfunctional. And with an avoidant, this is dysfunctional. So we need a lot of love, and we need stability. We need our partner to be there for us when we have emotional distress. If you have an anxious attachment style, you probably most likely had partners who were not there for you. They were actually rejecting you. They saw your feelings as um problem for them, like it's your business. It's not my business. Your emotions are your business. You have to deal with it, which is absolutely, in my opinion, is really hurtful. So it's a rejection straight away. And we also need someone who actually communicate their feelings and love to us. They're available, and our well-being is important to them, actually very important. They are happy if we are happy. So when people give up on love, what mostly happens is they had very so many heartbreaks, unsuccessful relationships where they felt rejected, one after the other. And then when it happens repeatedly, after a while, you got really, really fed up and you just have enough. You just, okay, I'm just not going to find love. I'm going to be on my own and I give up on finding love. But then you have this deep yearning and desire deep inside. No matter what you do, it's never going to go away. I can assure you, it's always going to be there. And so in this video, I just want to basically say that just never ever give up on love, because it's impossible, and there is a way out from this feeling. I'm gonna tell you at the end of the video. So basically, when we have this anxious attachment style, we have a tendency to be preoccupied with the relationship. We're constantly thinking about the relationship, how they feel about the other person, and we want the other person to. We think the other person is going to be the same, but it's not true. Not everyone is like us. Like, as I said, about 20% of us, we behave like this way. We constantly think about the other person. We see they are amazing. We put them on a pedestal most of the time, and we think their best qualities. We think they are the only person who can make us happy, and there is no way out from this. Well, so there's no other person who can make us happy, and this mostly happens when there is a heartbreak and the relationship is ended, and we just see that, okay, this I'm never gonna find love again. And we can feel this during the relationship as well. And we hope the other person is going to change or going to be different. But I have to tell you that unfortunately, this is very unlikely that the other person is going to change if they are the person who is distancing themselves when after you had a great evening or a great few days together, and they don't call you or they don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna talk about them later, but this can be one the biggest reason why your relationships are not working out, and why you ended up feeling giving up on love. And so yes, we can come to this place when we feel broken and unlovable. We actually can feel that we are unlovable, which is amazing that we can come to this conclusion. But we do, because we just feel there must be something wrong with me, why they reject me constantly and why they behave this way towards me constantly. But I can assure you that there is nothing wrong with you. Yes, we have this attachment style, anxious, preoccupied, which is called dysfunctional. I would say we are very functional. We just have to find the person who actually can reciprocate, like they can mirror back our love. And believe me, there's a 50% of the population who actually can. So there's another type of attachment called the secure attachment style. And we in this channel, I want people to aim towards that kind of people. So the people who have secure attachment style, they are trusting, they trust that they will be loved, that they come with an open heart, they like being close, they like to tell you very early that if they like you or not, they are stable, you can rely on them, they will treat you as a queen, they will treat you like you are very important. And if you are with an avoidant, they will not treat you they will that you are important, they will treat you that you are the least important in their life. And unfortunately, that's their way of relating to another person, and that is very damaging to us. So that's why I'm not suggesting to hope. If you are in this kind of relationship, I'm suggesting to finish and work on yourself and be ready. So this channel is about being ready for a secure relationship. Because unfortunately, people with this avoidant attachment style, they don't think that there is anything wrong with the way they are. They think everyone is like them, like we think, like most people are like us, but it's not true. There's so many people who have no problem with relating. They like commitment, they are honest, they are not shady, they don't have these, they don't play games. That's the most important, they don't play games. So I think we are ready to, yes, have after feeling empty and feeling lonely and feeling that we are not enough or not good enough for a loving relationship, I think we are ready to move on and have a new perspective. And I want to talk about this new perspective now. What I have found in my experience, there is a different way to deal with this situation. So because it's one thing that we are aware, okay, you can read about the attachment styles, and I also said many things now about this kind of relating. But sometimes people stuck with the, okay, I have this information now, I know how I am behaving, although these are first unconscious, now I'm aware of it, and now what? And that's why I'm trying to tell you now what could be the next step um, after this realization. The new perspective is that we need to move towards self acceptance, because if you have an anxious attachment style, you are very likely to always think that there's a problem with you. Oh my God, what did I do? You constantly think about in your past relationships, like, why did I say that? If I had said that, or if I did something differently, then he would have loved me. So it's always about something I did. And that's why they don't express their love, and that's why they pull away, and that's why they behave, and it's not true. Yes, your behavior is the trigger for them, but there's nothing wrong with you. It's just he is not, or she is not the right partner for you. He or she cannot love you or accept you the way you are, but there are many thousands of people who can, and we need to aim towards them. And that's the new that's where the self acceptance comes in, that we have to accept our attachment styles and our behavior. So yes, we are open hearted, we fall in love very easily, we are very sensitive, and that's a good thing. We are very sensitive, we are empathetic, we can feel other people's feelings, we can put ourselves into the other person's shoes. So we have an abundance of love, and it's amazing, believe me. Not everyone can do this, and love is the most important thing in the universe, I think. So you have to be proud, and you have to be glad that you have this ability, that you can just open your heart. And so that way we need to accept our attachment style and ourselves, because the reason we shut down is because we started to believe that we are not lovable, there's something wrong with us. So we slowly need to accept ourselves. We have to see ourselves. Actually, we have to observe our way of thinking, the way we feel, and we just have to say, okay, this is who I am, this is how I am, and I just decide, I make a decision that I accept myself the way I am. Yes, I can be anxious, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my partner, because if we want to change anything, first we need to accept it. Acceptance means that we look into the mirror and say, this is who I am, I accept myself. And now here comes a practical thing I want to share, because I'm very practical, so I always give advice, and that's how I did myself. I made a list about myself I didn't accept. So these can be behaviors and also the way we look. So you can check what you can write. You need to write down what you cannot accept in yourself. And if you don't know what it is, it's most likely the things you want to hide. So if you start a relationship and you don't want the other person to know this about you first, then that's the thing you don't like about yourself, or you don't accept. So just give you an example. If you have your lips are not as full as they show it in the magazines, that you have to have a full lips to feel sexy or attractive, then you can say, look into the mirror and say, okay, my lips are not like that, but this is what I was given. This is how I was born. This is coming from my parents or my ancestors. So it's great as I am. And if you have a problem with it, and if you cannot accept it, I would suggest to change it. So you can even have a plastic surgery, whatever, until is it's not an obsession. But if you really have your heart cannot accept it, change it. But if you cannot change it, or you don't want to have plastic surgery, then just look into the mirror and say, this is who I am, and I accept it. And you can do this with your body, and you can do this with your feelings and the way you think, way you relate to others in a relationship. Just accept as it is. If it's anxious, if you're overreacting, you're sensitive, you whatever, just accept it. This is how it is. And basically the next step and the last step is self-acceptance is just the beginning. The biggest breakthrough comes when you go into loving yourself, not just accepting. First you accept, that's how you start, and then you love. And I want to share an exercise with you how to do this, because it sounds a bit strange. Okay, yes, I love myself, but there are different things you can do. And one practice I'm gonna share with you is, if you imagine I'm sure you had contact with a baby. If you had children, then you had it firsthand. If you don't have children, then with babies in your life, or if you didn't have any contact with a child, then maybe animals you love. So basically, what I want you to think about something you love wholeheartedly. And we have always have everybody has something they love wholeheartedly. It's normally it's a person in your family, or it can be an animal, it can be mostly nature or music, anything to do with art, anything that opens up your heart. Because if you observe yourself, you can feel if you listen to music you love, or you eat food you love, or just see a movie you love, your heart is opens and you just relax, and you have this nice feeling around your heart. But especially if you remember seeing a baby, you just realize that you feel so much love. And even if it's not your baby, someone else's baby, it's just so suddenly you smile, you start to smile. Or you stroke an animal and your just heart is just really open and calm. And the reason is because of they're really pure. This they come to this life without any agenda. They don't have likes and dislike. We actually, we are the same in our core, in our essence. We are exactly the same. But over time, as we go through life, we have these likes and dislikes, things we learn from our parents or caregivers or friends or teachers, what is good, what is bad, what we love, what we hate. All these things are basically, they are obstacles in our love. So the technique I'm suggesting to do is picture or imagine or feel. If you can't imagine or picture, you just feel, or whatever way it can happen to you. But you mostly you remember a memory, and just basically start feeling that kind of love opening you feel towards this baby or animal or nature or flower or whatever, and turn that feeling towards you. This is the exercise. It's like an arrow. You can turn it back, turn it towards yourself, especially towards those parts you cannot accept. And you can do this anytime and anywhere. So you can be in the middle of a meeting, you can be in your car, you can be at home relaxing, you can be swimming, cycling, anything. You have a feeling you don't like yourself, you have a thought, you criticize. We tend to criticize. Anxious people tend to criticize themselves. Just stop when you are aware of it and think about this loving feeling towards a baby, or I already said those things, and just kind of imagine like you turn it towards that thing, that body part, or that thought, or that feeling. And I can assure you that something is going to shift in yourself. You are going to feel differently. And obviously, we were conditioned to criticize ourselves or not like ourselves, or we have this thinking about this constantly. That means it takes a bit of time, but it doesn't take your rest of your life. So it can change quite fast, to be honest, because you imagine it really fully, that there's a body part you don't like, and just you turn this love towards it. You will feel this kindness, this gentleness, and this is what we crave. Everyone craves it. Even the person who looks the most put together and most like really tough guy, everyone craves this kind of love and gentleness. And if you can give this love to yourself, to your thoughts, to your body, to your feelings, you will see that something has changed. Something is going to change. The way you feel inside, you're going to vibrate on a different level. You're going to feel more excited, more just the way you are in the world is going to be different. And that's how I suggest to start opening up again to love. Because when we start to love ourselves, and this can be just one little practice a day, or just any time you feel closing up or criticism towards yourself, or hate, or because some people can really hate some parts of themselves, and it's, can you imagine that what it does to you? It just really shuts down. That's how we have the blockages. So once we start doing this practice, then we will feel this opening, and we realize that the way we show up in the world is somehow uh, different. People reflecting back, people will smile a lot more towards you, and that's how you can actually just meet. And so love, it can happen anywhere. It can happen in a bus stop, in a shop, and anywhere. Just because you love yourself so much, it can actually attract love to yourself. And I'm not talking about law of attraction, it's just basically it's mirroring back to you. So if you have a love towards yourself, you you will meet people who will mirror this love back to you. And that's how we actually be ready to go back to the arena. Even you can go back to date. But the main thing is that just do this practice and see what happens. So I'm gonna finish up this video, and thank you very much for listening. And if you like this video, please give it a like or share, and I would really love to read your comments. So please write about your experiences. And I also have a private Facebook group where we can share experiences, and I would give further uh, help and support. So thank you again, and have a wonderful day.